Hey, welcome back, Kings. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my favorite individual as of late, our Fashionably Divorced channel. So this lady now is going to get into a topic that I'll actually partially defend her on. I think some guys are kind of on either side. So for dating apps, I think men are becoming more antagonistic on them, and women are becoming more disconnected for whatever reason. They could say, well, it's because men are this way, but it's no excuse. They should still be, if they're using dating apps, they should still be open-minded and have an open heart when they talk to people. They shouldn't, be sort of socially cut off, saying stupid things like, hey, like one-word responses and all this other garbage. But anyway, let's get into our video, and then let's see what she's griping about today.
Against my better judgment, I decided to get back on a dating app. I got back on Hinge. I haven't been on a dating app since, I'd say late-ish March.
All right, so first off, I wrote an article about this on Medium before, and this is a chronic issue with hypergamous women. I would consider Fashionably Divorced a highly hypergamous woman. She goes for younger dudes. She actually thinks they'll commit to her. I mean, she's very delusional about that whole dynamic. You'll see that in the other video that I posted the other day. But she's getting back on dating apps, and dating apps provide women the illusion of high quality matches. I mean, there's no easier way to say it than that. They get to see very attractive guys, successful guys, just attractive all around, whether physical or successful or a combination thereof. And I think she's become addicted to that. So she reverts back to dating apps in hopes of landing that Chad, call him that, just for lack of a better word here. I don't know what her qualifications. I think her expectations are she's one of those delusional people. Her expectations have risen over time, which is contrary to logic. But in any event, she, expectations have risen over time, like most middle-aged women. And now they've gone so high that they're not able to match with anybody. So they end up resorting to weird, cringe behaviors like beginning non-monogamy and basically looking for like the most attractive guys and like sleeping with them and say, well, I'm non-monogamous. No, you're not you're non-monogamous because these guys won't settle down with you. So you're trying to make a play like, well, I'm non-monogamous because I don't believe in monogamy or some other bullshit like that. It's basically the guys won't commit to you, so you won't commit to them. You're trying to get the last word on them or whatever, but it's a bunch of crap. So anyway, let's continue.
And, 24 hours in or so, I'm already completely repulsed by Matthew. Yeah, look at him, he's so rad, he's on Matthew.
All right. I don't know why she has to make fun of him, but anyway, it's just something that I want to point out. I think she's doing it because of the interaction that she had that she'll explain in a bit, but it's kind of like petty and stupid.
Matthew is a dedicated dad. This is one of the, I can't remember, 3 or 4 pictures that he has with his young daughter. Now, I blacked out her face. He's got...
Oh, that's so nice of you that you did that. I mean, makes it sound like she's being, kind of egalitarian by doing that. I mean, come on. That's the minimum you can do. It's like the bare minimum, as they say.
Her face right on there, advertising, like what a good guy he is, right? He's a dedicated dad. He's a girl dad. Seems like a nice feller, right? So he sends me a like, and he sends me an opening message, and I have to say I'm completely charmed. You really think we're all just going to fall for the old perfect tits pic?
All right. Now, this is where I come to her defense just a little bit. That's kind of a stupid way to open. Like, if you're a guy, there are so many better ways to intro to women. I think some guys might just be like spray and pray. They're kind of just doing this, and they really don't have any emotional intelligence. So I will give her that, But I think the where she's taking this is where it's getting really kind of fucked up.
Matthew, we've not even been introduced. You should probably wait until I have actually responded to you before you start talking about my tits. Just a thought, just an idea. So what an odd thing to say, Matthew, particularly when you have easily identifiable information in your profile and pictures of your underage daughter.
All right. Now this is where I flip-flop, because what she's done here is, to me, like beyond the pale. I mean, just say that it's inappropriate and be done with it. Why do you have to create like a thinly veiled threat of doxing and like, kind of shaming him for like posing with his underage, his young daughter? Saying underage to make it sound like edgy or whatever. It's just, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, the response. It's kind of like very petty, and she's sinking to his level. Well, below his level. Actually, it's funny because he brought himself down quite a bit with the tits comment, but she's kind of like one downed him, so to speak. She's well below where he kind of started off in terms of like how petty one can be.
He's got his business. He's a master carpenter. I think he's a master of a lot of things, not carpentry. All sorts of identifiable, and like I said, 3 or 4 pictures of his young daughter.
All right, and I'm going to make another statement just from a personal level. I've been doxxed before. My wife has been doxxed before. It's a very not pleasurable experience. Fortunately, we've been able to track down and sue the individual and got a settlement from that. Can't go into the details of what that entailed, but she had the audacity and stupidity of trying to blackmail us in some way, and that's really what did her in. I would ask her to be very careful about like how she goes about it. I mean, this is okay, but like if she actually does dox people, she can get into some deep shit, and she probably thinks she's smarter than she is, and can kind of like, she can just do this, unabated, and that's not true at all. I mean, I'm proof of that. So anyway, we'll continue.
He pulls the famous trick. I was making a joke. God, stop being so sensitive. Stop taking things so seriously. Can't you take a joke? I guess my perfect tits make it so that I can't take a joke.
All right, so you're getting a taste of her behavior. It's again, he was wrong to start off with that, but she's just digging herself a bigger and bigger hole, and she's like posting this. She's posting his face, and it's just in very bad taste. And this is the kind of person I mentioned before. This was, if I was 25, I would totally get into a situationship with women like her. And I've done that before in the past with women who were more attractive than her and had a better body than her. But they were more pleasant. They brought peace into my life. Even though it was a casual fling, they didn't do these weird passive aggressive behaviors and such. And also, she subscribes to this non-monogamy, which is very cringe to me because I don't like wearing a rubber with my because I'm in an exclusive situationship, friends with benefits, or whatever you want to call it. And as such, I don't have to wear a rubber. That's the benefit of doing that. But she's non-monogamous, so I also suspect actually that she probably goes without protection with a lot of her partners, even though she like has a rotating roster or whatever you want to call it. And she can't. The pregnancy risk is very low for her because she's 46 now, but she's also delusional to think that she's just going to be safe because, well, I vetted them and I've investigated them and they're safe. They're safe to me. They're safe. Your risk is pretty high. I mean, you're rotating around different partners. You don't know and the character of those partners is such that if they know that you're non-monogamous, they're going to be non-monogamous a lot of times, and they're going to sleep with other people. So you're just exponentially increasing your risk of STDs. So I personally, like I said, I think she's going without protection in a lot of cases, and she's either has gotten STDs or it's imminent at this point.
I'm sure you're conditioned to think the worst of men. Of course, I have to ask the obvious, like, would you want anyone talking that way to your daughter? And he wouldn't. But it's my fault. I mean,
All right, so basically it's just a big purse fight. Yeah, I get it. He's being a little bit dicky about, like, continuing on. Just leave the conversation. I don't know why, especially after if it was me, the first time when he mentioned my daughter, I wouldn't pose my daughter, first of all. But if I did, and she mentioned that, I would just basically call her out straight up. Are you threatening me? Because you could have to monetarily pay me for that if you go forward with that threat. Something like that, and then just end it. But yeah, he kind of digs himself into a hole. So she's trying to. I think she's trying to create this whole, going through this whole discourse just to show that, she's kind of in the right. If he had like ended it right after she did that little, just a joke, I'm going to dox you, just a joke, then it would have been very apparent she was in the wrong. But obviously he continued on with the bullshit. So, he's kind of in the wrong there, so.
God, he was just making a joke. Women have no sense of humor.
So there you have it. It's a very interesting take. I mean, she's 46 going on 16, I think. Or 26, I don't know. I'll give her a little bit of the benefit of that. She's 46 going on 26 in terms of emotional maturity. But in any event, it's interesting. So I mentioned before, like I said, if you find a woman like this to be your cougar, as a young man who's working himself up before he goes to overseas to marry a younger woman, and just be careful about women like this, because she's very pretty, like a little bit above average for her age, and probably a great time in bed. Will teach you lots of great things, but in this particular case, she might be more trouble than she's worth for that like casual partner. I forget about regular partner. That's a big no-go. But like just a casual partner, even then, I'd be a little bit wary about it, both from the non-monogamy side of it and this whole petty, passive-aggressive nonsense that she spews. Anyway, that's about it. Take care, Kings.